Yeah, I have no idea how to start this video. I really had no intro. Just kind of want to like talk about something kind of random, but you probably read the title of the video, things you wish your younger self probably knew. I'm going to relate it to high school because I feel like that's a little bit easier for me to kind of explain this idea in some way. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy this video. If my voice kind of sounds a little dead, it's not because I sound sick. It's actually because of allergies. It's kind of kicking my butt, like fisting me over like the past 24 hours. But I'm feeling a little bit better, so hopefully I'm able to get this video out in time, and hopefully that doesn't affect me too much. But if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and also check on the card above to see my other recent video I made. It's just funny moments of Marvel Rivals, and I'll be making that kind of content as well. But I kind of want to make this type of content where I commentate and share stories, or just commentate on random topics, so that way people can just kind of relate to, I don't know, relate to somebody else online. This is also a way for some of you to get to know me, because I have a life outside of YouTube, and I'm trying to start content creation. And I know most content creators, they usually don't have time to share their personal life, or their audience don't usually gets to know them personally sometimes. But anyways, let's just get right into it, I guess. Here are three things that I wish my younger self knew back in high school, and these three things I believe are the lesson plans. I wouldn't say canon events, but maybe a little bit. Maybe these are the canon events that every young teenager goes through or should go through. And keep in mind, I graduated like around 5 years ago, which I guess that kind of makes me into unk status in some way. Like, I don't know, but but yeah, I'm kind of a little bit older than most of y'all probably watching this video. But if there's something I can say, take what I say with a grain of salt. Everybody's high school experience is very, very different, and I'm hoping that this video will help you guys at least know what you want to go in life, or at least a bit more guidance than you're probably used to. All right, going with number one. This is a lesson I learned very early on in high school, and I'm hoping that, I feel like some of you probably have experienced this, but I kind of experienced this very early on. But it's that people are fake. Some people are fake, and you will find your real friends. And so, little context. Growing up, I went to this charter school, and for some of you that don't know what a charter school is, it's kind of like it's not like a public school or a private school. Like, public school is pretty obvious. It's in the public school system. You go, and usually it's a very big school, like around thousands of students. While a private school is a bit more, I wouldn't say elite, but a bit more prestigious, where you kind of like spend a bit more money to like get a better education, or maybe a higher level of education. Well, a charter school is kind of the in between of that, except it's not funded by a very wealthy organization, but instead it's very much funded locally, either through volunteers or through parents, or just simple donations from the local city that they're from. But anyways, I went to this charter school growing up from first grade all the way up to ninth grade, which, yeah, it's freshman year. And my first year of high school, I'm kind of like, it's a little bit different for me because I grew up in Utah, and for whatever reason, Utah loves to like, their high school buildings kind of start from 10th grade to 12th grade, but ninth grade is still freshman year. So despite that, that's where I'm going to like kind of start from there. But in ninth grade, since I went to this charter school, it was my last year in this school, and my class was really tiny. It was 63 of us, 63 students. That is just ridiculous. So pretty much this small group of people, that's all I knew really growing up. And some of them I knew since first grade or fourth grade, or I grew up with them pretty much the majority of my life. And after this, I had to go to high school, which was so weird to me. It was my first time ever going to an actual public school. So going from basically having nobody to like having over thousands of students was a very big jump for me. It was a huge change. But something I've really realized, and this is something that I wish I would have known a little bit earlier my sophomore year, but one thing I did not like about high school is that there are a lot of fake people. For whatever reason, there were so many people that I saw that either pretended to be somebody that they weren't, or they try to like flex their money, or try to show their social status, or try to do anything for popularity, which was one of the things I just really despised. And the sad thing is, most of these some of these people that I knew in high school, well, some of them actually ended up being really, really fake. By sophomore year, I would say I was kind of very antisocial, so I really won't mention much about it. But junior year, I feel like that was the year where I really tried to get to know people, try to be really social. I would say that was probably like the most social year I've had in my entire high school experience. And I had a lot of great people that I was able to get to know. I would maybe consider them my friends at the time. But then senior year came around and I never hung out with them, like at all. I ended up just having my small circle of friends after me graduating. Now, keep in mind, though, obviously people move on with life. Some people just kind of, drift apart naturally because that's just the way of life is, right? But some of these people that I knew or I thought were my friends ended up being fake, or two-faced, or just pretending I didn't exist because they just didn't see me as a person. And that's kind of the worst. And for those who experienced this, I really hope you know one day you're going to find your circle of friends. At least one friend out there. I know sometimes it's really hard to be, I don't know if it's just social media or just like things like Instagram or even dating apps, things like that. But it's kind of hard to make friends sometimes. And I admit, like, it was kind of hard for me back then. I have a little sister. She's graduating next year, which to me, it sounds kind of crazy for me to say that out loud. But the things that she tells me and the things that a lot of the people she knows to go out of their way to make friends is baffling to me. Like, why are you trying to be a fake person? Just be yourself. And trust me, the more you learn, it's better to be yourself than somebody else that you're not. The happier you're going to be and the more in peace you're going to be. And those that want to be with you because of who you are, those are your real friends. I guarantee it. And now it's going to be a bit hard, but it's fun. And this is something I wish my younger self knew way earlier. Because if I knew this, I would very easily choose very carefully who to walk with and who to be with. But hey, I haven't kind of learned things the hard way. But it's alright. I'm doing good now, and I have a lot of great close friends that I consider my best friends for life, and they're always going to be my ride and die, and always going to be there for me no matter the distance. I also have an amazing family, and I have a lovely wife who loves me for who I am. But yeah, just remember, guys, people can be fake, and you will find your real friends, people that want to be with you and want to get to know you because of who you are. Alright, coming in at number 2, and this is a second piece of advice. I feel like that's kind of unpopular back then when I grew up, but I feel like it's more accepted now than ever. And this is a hard reality, but college isn't your only option. Believe me, like, if you don't want to go to college, it's okay. If you don't know what you want to do in life yet, that's okay. Now, I'm not saying to just now, if you're in school right now, if you're in college, you're doing pretty well, or if you're in high school, I'm not saying don't use this as an excuse to like drop out or just do horrible in your grades or like do horrible in your schooling. Just don't do that, please. Like, don't take that out of context. What I mean is that there's different routes to success, and I feel like this is something that a lot of people struggle to accept. I have a friend. He's one of my greatest friends. One of my best friends actually that I met. I would say at this point around 2 years ago. He is from Tennessee, and he did not go to college. And I met him doing this summer program in Colorado, where I was a summer counselor for for a bunch of youth, and it was a lot of fun. And there was one week where I finally got to sit down and get to know him, and because we were assigned to take care of the talent show and all that in the camp. And by the way, it was pretty fire. Like, we did a fantastic job. But besides the point, he was kind of afraid at some point because he told me, like, hey, like, I never went to college. I don't know if I want to go to college. I never really thought about college. It's been a while, but I love my job. I love what I'm doing right now. In all honesty, it's been paying me pretty well. And I was like, all right, man. And a lot of people kind of doubted him. A lot of people kind of tell him, like, hey, you should go to school. Hey, you should drop everything and, stop everything to just, actually get a job that's more stable. But I told him, like, hey, man, like, college isn't your only option. Like, go for it. Like, if you feel like you want to be successful, you don't need to go to school. Like, you already have the experience. You already have the connections. Go for it. And his job, by the way, he's kind of like, you guys know when you go to concerts and there's those people that kind of pan the cameras to the artists that perform and, like, do the sound checks. So that's what he does. That's his entire job. And he actually is working for Drake and he's actually going to go on Drake's Europe tour, which is insane. And not only that, Drake is one of his favorite artists of all time. Now I know that the whole, let's just put the Kendrick beef aside. But my friend here, well, for the sake of privacy, we'll call him, Jeffrey. My boy Jeffrey was able to be very successful without college. He's been making bank, and he's just doing something that he loves: video and editing and photography, which is something that most people will probably say and look at him like, that's not a stable job. That's not going to make you any money. And worse, you're probably never going to do it again. It's just a one-time thing. There's also people that I knew that also did sales, and they sometimes dropped out of school just to do sales because that's their whole shtick. That's the whole thing. And I know people that are also successful that are in university, that are in college, they've graduated, they found a good career. And there's people that went, and I also have a bunch of my friends, closest friends, that went to trade school, and they're trying to do, become an electrician, and they're making pretty good money too, and now they're getting close to being done. But me, I just started university like 2 years ago, and I'm hoping to be a lawyer one day, and hopefully I don't, be really stupid online and have to be careful what I say because, employers and how the job market is nowadays. But my point is that there's different types of success, different routes of success. If you're in high school, and even if you're a freshman, sophomore year, or sophomore, you're probably going to start thinking about college junior year. And I'm going to just say this right now. And this is something I wish I told my younger self. Number one, it's okay. You don't need to know everything right off the bat, but have options, and consider options, and consider backup plans. But also remember that college isn't your only route. There's other ways of success. But if that's what you want to do, go for it. And this is something I wish I would have told my younger self. I also would have told them, very simple. You want to go to that school? Go for that school. But also remember the risk. Like, know what you're going to go into college for. And I feel like this is kind of a sad reality, but some of you probably saw on TikTok and in the internet, like the likes of people like Charlie Kirk, or maybe some financial YouTubers that said like college is not useful, like it's kind of a scam. To some extent, it may be. Like, it just depends what degree you're going into. Like, for me at least, I'm trying to be a lawyer, so school is pretty required. But I feel like if you're trying to be a doctor, anything in the STEM field, anything that's legal, maybe even business, go to college. It's the route for you. But if not, it's okay. Take a gap year. Figure out who you are. But a gap year, not gap years, because that's something that I saw a lot of people get into, and it's a vicious cycle where they cannot get out of at all. But yeah, just remember, college is not your only option. There's other routes to success, and I guarantee you, if you're gonna find it. All right, my last and final piece of advice. This is the shortest piece of advice. Sorry, the other two were kind of long, but this is very simple. Live and enjoy your youth, because it will go away. This is something I am glad I don't regret doing. Going into high school, I knew that I was not going to be a kid forever. I was going to be a teenager. And the sad reality is, I've seen many of my peers growing up try to be so hard to be adults. But I'm going to be honest with you, being an adult isn't all about fun. It's about responsibilities, paying your bills, figuring out what you want in life, seeing if you want to settle down with a family, or stick with your career, and see what you're going to leave in this world after you leave it behind. But enjoy your youth. It's not going to come back. And there's a really dumb trend going on where people say like, oh, I'm 21, I'm 25, I'm still really young. No, you've been an adult since you were 18, and you can still be a kid at heart, but you still got to be an adult and grow up. And that's the hard reality that a lot of people don't want to accept. So if you're in high school, if you're in middle school or whatever, if you are, before you turn 18, enjoy your youth. I'm not saying go outright do stupid things or illegal things. Do stupid things, but make sure that it's not something that will get you in trouble or ruin your life. But enjoy your youth. Enjoy it, because you're going to miss those days. When I turned 18, or right before I turned 18, it was the funnest time, because it was just me and my friends. We hung out. We had no responsibilities. It was just us and the boys playing games till like 4 a.m, hanging out till midnight, the midnight runs, from IHOP runs, or I don't know, just driving around, just screwing around, having fun. But those times can't happen as often because a lot of my friends have jobs. are in school. I'm in school, I'm working. Just we're still, great friends, but the time we have together isn't that consistent or that frequent anymore. And if you see people, if any of your peers or friends try to try to grow up too fast, just tell yourself you don't need to be like them. Just enjoy your time as a young person, as a youth, because it'll go away and you won't be able to like rewind the clock and relive it. But yeah, that's all you really need to do. Enjoy every last moment of it before you move on with your life and become an adult. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it with the video. Hopefully you guys take this advice to heart, or with a grain of salt, whatever you want. But this is something I wanted to share. And at the end of the day, I know that a lot of you are probably trying to figure out who you are. And trust me, one day you will. And it took me a while, and I'm still figuring myself out. But hopefully, this all helped you out. This is Yannick signing out, and see you guys in the next one.